Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Before I get into it, I just want to say thanks to everyone for all your support. For today is probably the first day where I've got up, come downstairs, and I actually feel well. And it's a nice feeling. Still got problems with the hands. If I'm going to commit a crime, now's the time to do it. Still don't have any fingerprints after the entire skin delaminated off my hands. Yeah, horrifying, painful. But other than that, absolutely fine. Mobile. Who knows? I should start making make my way back to normality now. So thanks for sticking with me, and hopefully we shall return to normal very soon. Now, there is a story here that I think definitely needs to be told. We know that the SNP are bereft of any kind of income. I've covered this many times before because obviously they're not getting the corporate sponsorship they had previously. They're getting very few bequests now. They've had all the big bequests. And so far this year, they've had one single donation over £5,000, something like that. They don't have a lot of money. They rely, predictably, of course, and I've said this before, predictably, they rely on two major sources of income, which is the short money that they get from Westminster and from the income from all the politicians at the various levels, MPs, MSPs, councillors, whatever, that all put in a percentage of their income. They also, of course, have the £2 a month per member. They pay their £2 a month in, but they won't confirm how many members they have, and we suspect it's a lot fewer than what they're officially saying, which is why they didn't want an election for leadership, because that would have forced them by law to reveal their membership numbers. And we suspect it's falling, and falling fast. So that's their income. But they've got all those outgoings, of course. They've got staff, they've got premises, they've got maintenance, they've got cars. They are skint. And we know this. And it's not an opinion, it's a fact. And we know this is a fact because you've had the leadership come out and beg for money, saying, please help us, we need more money. He went on at the beginning of the campaign, did old Swinney, saying, oh, we'll definitely have the money. I didn't believe him either. And now, today, again, he's sent out another begging letter. Now, what's strange about today's begging letter is it's coming out after they've revealed their manifesto. And you have to wonder how many people will have been alienated by that manifesto, because nowhere within that document are any kind of plans or even mention of independence. It's almost as though for the SNP, independence has become toxic, something that they don't want to talk about. It's almost as though if they don't mention the word independence, they hope that nobody notices. But we noticed. It jumps out at you. Nowhere does the independence-obsessed SNP mention independence in their manifesto. Isn't that weird? Anyway, they're sending out this begging letter asking members to cough up even more for the third time. And he's saying it's for electoral purposes. Now, I'm going to suggest that that is a lie. I don't think that this begging letter is so that the SNP can run an election. Genuinely, I think that this is a last act of desperation by a party that is absolutely financially broke. I think that this letter isn't, as I say, to run the election. I believe it's to continue the existence of the party. I think they have bills to pay. I think they have rent due notices. I think they have overdue notices. I think possibly the bank has pressured them, maybe intimated that they may be looking to foreclose on the loan and want the loan repaid, or at least partially repaid, reduce the risk to the bank and so forth. They've still got £60,000 that they owe Peter Murrell. They won't have the cash for that to be repaid either. So I think that this begging letter is an existential begging letter. I think the actual sheer existence of the SNP is now seriously in question, seriously at risk. I think going forward, they know it. I think they are aware that without major and significant uplift in income or donations or some kind of capital cash drop, something like that, that they will be out of business, that they will be forced to go into administration. And let's just say that things get tough for Murrell and he needs to employ better defence lawyers, more expensive defence lawyers. He's going to need money and he's going to say, can I have me £60,000 back? And they won't have it. And at that point, if he's asking for money to be repaid and they're not repaying it, he could, theoretically, put them into administration. This is how precarious they are. I mean, this is knife edge, position for the party. I think they are that close to collapsing. But of course, they'll never admit it. And that's, of course, when you look back and you see Sturgeon in that little sneaky video going, you must never let anyone see the accounts. No one must ever know the accounts. If anyone asks, you tell them the accounts are fine. I think going back those sort of 2-3 years or so, the accounts weren't fine then. I think the accounts are even worse now. The last set of accounts that they had published were they were £800,000 in the hole. The current set of accounts, if you remember, they couldn't get anyone to do their accounts, and the accounts were overdue when they handed them over, and so the accounts are definitely overdue now. They haven't been revealed, and yet they should have done. And so I think that they're probably going to get fined by HMRC and Companies House for failure to submit accounts on time. I think the Electoral Commission may well have a word if they haven't got them in on time. I think there's all sorts of shadiness going on behind the scenes with regards to their accounts. And I suspect that when the latest set, last year's accounts that will be published this year, are published, I expect to see them somewhere in the region of £1.5, maybe even £2 million in the hole. They're going to have a big bank loan propping that up. And I think any bank going forward, seeing the results of the general election and therefore the massive drop in income from shorts money and from the income from the MPs, will perhaps look at it, take a big gulp and say, actually, it's no longer a viable opportunity. We'd like our money back. And that, of course, would be the end of the SNP. That is where it is. Cliff edge. It is absolutely... I mean, I even think it's beyond cliff edge. I think they've gone over the cliff. I think they're already falling. They just don't know it yet. It's cracking, though, isn't it? This party is in absolute free fall as we sit here. Stunning. Thanks anyway for listening, and thanks for all the help and concern over my little difficulties. I was like jazz hands over the last few weeks, and hoping now that I am almost there and back to normal. Cheers. Bye.